The hidden truth. Rowoon reveals the exact moment he fell in love with Park Eun-bin. A night fans will never forget. The lights were low, the stage was set, and millions of fans were watching live across the world when Rowoon leaned forward in his chair during an intimate interview and dropped the revelation no one expected. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update in the world of your favorite celebrities. He smiled softly, his eyes searching the audience as if trying to find the right courage, and then said it. "Do you want to know when I fell for her?" The room went silent. The interviewer's jaw nearly dropped. Fans in the audience gasped audibly. And then, with a pause that felt like a century, Rowoon told the story that would forever change how the world saw his bond with Park Eun-bin. Back to the beginning. It wasn't on a red carpet. It wasn't during a dramatic award show. It wasn't even in the middle of filming their most famous drama together. Rowoon revealed that it happened quietly, almost invisibly, in a moment so ordinary that no one else noticed. "It was during rehearsals," he said. "We were practicing a scene, and Eun-bin was so focused, so dedicated. She wasn't trying to look perfect. She wasn't even aware anyone was watching. But there was this moment. She laughed at something small, something only she found funny, and her whole face lit up. I remember standing there watching her and thinking, oh no, this is it. This is how it starts." He shook his head, smiling like a man reliving a memory he can never forget. "It wasn't like the dramas where your heart races instantly. It was quiet, simple. But it was the most real moment of my life." Eun-bin's reaction. Park Eun-bin, sitting beside him during the interview, covered her face with her hands in disbelief as the audience screamed. Her cheeks flushed pink, her laughter spilled out nervously, and she whispered, "Why are you telling them this?" But Rowoon only looked at her with the kind of gaze that needed no script, no director, no camera cues. It was raw. It was real. The cameras zoomed in on Eun-bin's reaction, a mixture of embarrassment, shock, and unmistakable affection. And in that instant, fans knew they weren't just witnessing a confession. They were witnessing a love story being lived in real time. The internet goes into meltdown. Clips of Rowoon's hidden truth spread like wildfire. Within minutes, TikTok had thousands of edits with captions like, "He fell for her during rehearsals. I'm crying." Twitter was flooded with hashtags. Hashtag Rowoon confession. Hashtag Eun-bin moment. Hashtag when love began. On Instagram, fans posted side-by-side photos of Rowoon staring at Eun-bin during past award shows and interviews, now captioning them with, "This was the look of a man already in love." And on YouTube, reaction videos surfaced where fans broke down crying, whispering, "This is better than any drama script ever written." The internet didn't just react. It lived through his memory with him. Behind-the-scenes whispers. But Rowoon's story didn't stop there. He revealed more. He admitted that after that moment in rehearsal, he couldn't stop noticing her little habits. The way she hummed softly between takes. The way she encouraged the staff with genuine kindness. The way she always put others first before herself. "I realized she wasn't just a great actress," he said. "She was the kind of person who made the room brighter just by being in it. And I thought to myself, I can't let this feeling go. Even if it has to stay hidden, it's mine." A staff member later confirmed in interviews, "We always saw Rowoon being extra attentive to her. Carrying her scripts, making sure she had water, adjusting the heater when she got cold. First we thought it was just Rowoon being polite. Now we know it was love." Eun-bin's gentle response. After Rowoon's heartfelt reveal, Park Eun-bin finally found her words. "I didn't know," she said softly, looking at him with tears glistening in her eyes. "All this time. I didn't know that was the moment for you. But I'm glad you told me. Because now, hearing it, I feel like maybe I was falling too, even if I didn't realize it back then." The audience erupted. Fans screamed. Some even sobbed in their seats. Because this wasn't just a celebrity couple teasing fans. This was two people bearing their hearts on camera, in front of the world. Why this moment matters. In an industry where love stories are often hidden, denied, or disguised, Rowoon's confession was revolutionary. He didn't talk about scripted chemistry. He didn't mention media pressures. He talked about an ordinary, unglamorous, real moment that turned into a love story. And in doing so, he gave fans something beyond entertainment. He gave them hope. Hope that love doesn't always arrive in fireworks or dramatic gestures. Sometimes it comes in quiet laughter during rehearsals, in the unnoticed details, in the real-life moments that matter most. The aftermath. Following the interview, entertainment news outlets went into overdrive. Headlines read, "Rowoon reveals the exact second his heart belonged to Eun Bin." From rehearsals to romance. The untold story of Rowoon and Park Eun Bin. Fans cry as Rowoon confesses his first love moment with Eun Bin. Even veteran journalists admitted they had never seen such a raw, vulnerable confession in a public space. One wrote, "Rowoon has changed the landscape of celebrity confessions forever. This wasn't PR. This was poetry." What's next for them? As the world continues to replay that confession, the question looms. What comes after this? For Rowoon and Park Eun Bin, the journey is just beginning. Their fans now know not just that they are together, but when and how it all began. That single story has become the foundation of a love that feels destined, fated, and beautifully real. And as Rowoon ended the night with one final sentence, the audience knew they were witnessing history. He looked at Eun Bin and said simply, "That was the moment I fell. And I've never stopped falling since." The morning after the confession. The sun had barely risen the morning after Rowoon's heartfelt revelation when the entire entertainment industry seemed to explode. News outlets from Seoul to Los Angeles carried the same headline. Rowoon confesses love for Park Eun Bin. The exact moment revealed. But even more shocking than the confession itself was the way it set off a tidal wave of speculation. The whispers were immediate, the theories endless. If Rowoon had been carrying this love in his heart all this time, if Eun Bin had quietly admitted she too might have been falling without realizing it, then what came next? Fans weren't just asking if they were together. They were daring to dream of something bigger. Something permanent. Wedding bells. The internet frenzy. On social media, hashtags trended worldwide. Hashtag Rowoon Eun Bin wedding. Hashtag forever begins now. Hashtag from rehearsal to marriage. Some fans began posting elaborate photo edits of Park Eun Bin in a delicate lace gown, Rowoon in a perfectly tailored suit, walking down an aisle surrounded by flowers. Others posted long threads breaking down every past interaction, award show glances, behind-the-scenes laughter, Instagram posts, now reframing them as early signs of a hidden love story. One fan wrote, "When he said he's never stopped falling since that rehearsal, that wasn't just a confession. That was a vow." Another added, "This isn't just dating news. This is endgame." Insiders speak out. Of course, the media wanted answers. And insiders, people who had worked with Rowoon and Park Eun Bin on set, began sharing more stories that only fueled the fire. One assistant director recalled, "There were moments we'd catch Rowoon looking at her even when the cameras weren't rolling. He'd just be smiling quietly, as if she was the only person in the room." A stylist whispered, "He always made sure Eun Bin's comfort came first. If she was cold, he'd adjust the heater. If she skipped lunch, he'd bring her food without saying a word. It was all so subtle, but looking back, it was love." And perhaps the most explosive testimony came from a staff member who revealed, after filming wrapped one day, Rowoon stayed behind. He waited until everyone left just to walk Eun Bin to her car. It wasn't dramatic, but it was the kind of thing a man in love does. That's when we knew. Park Eun Bin's quiet strength. While Rowoon's confession had the rawness of a man who could no longer hold back his heart, Eun Bin's response was just as powerful. She didn't deny him. She didn't laugh it off as just acting. She didn't redirect the question to fans or her career. Instead, she acknowledged it. She embraced the possibility that she too had been falling without knowing. And that one sentence, "Maybe I was falling too," set the internet ablaze. Fans began circulating the clip on repeat, slowing it down, zooming in on her expression, analyzing the sparkle in her eyes. For many, it wasn't just a reaction. It was an unspoken acceptance. Media speculation, the marriage question. Within days, Korean and international outlets had already started asking the inevitable question. Were wedding bells on the horizon? An article in one Seoul-based magazine boldly declared, Park Eun-bin and Rowoon, the drama couple destined to become Korea's most iconic real-life love story. Another outlet wrote, if this were just a casual dating rumor, Rowoon would never have gone public with such a vulnerable confession. This was not PR. This was a man building a forever. Even seasoned reporters admitted they hadn't seen such sincerity in years. One wrote, it felt less like an interview and more like a proposal waiting to happen. Fan reactions. Dreams of forever. On TikTok, fans began creating dreamy edits of a Rowoon and Eun-bin wedding. Thousands of videos used romantic ballads, overlaying their drama scenes with imagined vows, walking down candlelit aisles, and even clips of Rowoon holding flowers during fan meetings edited as if they were for Eun-bin. One fan captioned their video, we watched their drama for the script, but now, we're watching real life write something even more beautiful. Another commented, no director could have written this better. This is destiny playing out before our eyes. The private side. Behind the curtain, sources claimed both Rowoon and Eun-bin were navigating this sudden wave of speculation with grace. They're both deeply private people, one insider revealed. But what makes this different is that neither of them denied it. And that silence, that quiet acceptance, is louder than any confirmation. There were whispers of the two being spotted at a quiet restaurant, away from Seoul's flashing lights. Others claimed they were seen sharing coffee at dawn, laughing together like two people who didn't need the world's approval, only each other's. A symbolic gesture. Then, another moment reignited the frenzy. At a recent fan event, Rowoon wore a simple silver ring on his right hand. It wasn't flashy, but it was impossible to miss. Fans zoomed in, speculated endlessly, and linked it to Eun-bin. It's not just jewelry, one fan tweeted. It's a promise. Soon after, Eun-bin was seen at a magazine shoot, wearing a necklace with a small, discreet charm. Fans connected the dots, claiming the pieces matched. A quiet couple's token, hidden in plain sight. The question everyone is asking. So where does this lead? Will Rowoon and Park Eun-bin be the next golden couple to walk down the aisle? As of now, neither has officially spoken about marriage. But fans believe the seeds have been planted. Rowoon's confession wasn't a casual slip. It was a declaration. Eun-bin's response wasn't hesitation. It was a quiet acceptance. And in the eyes of millions, that combination points to one inevitable future. A love written like a drama. What makes this love story so magnetic is how it mirrors the very dramas they acted in. But unlike scripts and lines, this was unscripted. This was real. This was love sneaking into ordinary rehearsals, growing in silence, and then finally, bursting into the spotlight when the world least expected it. Rowoon himself summed it up best during the final moments of that unforgettable night. Looking at Eun-bin, he said softly, that was the moment I fell, and I've never stopped falling since. And with those words, fans knew. This wasn't just a love story. This was the beginning of forever. And if this story touched you, subscribe and share it so we can keep his memory alive together.